What is happening here? We are live on YouTube in the aftermath of that Old Firm. I want comments in here. I want everybody in here because this needs to be addressed. This cannot be continued to go on for much further for Rangers at the minute, man. It's honestly soul destroying, but it was to be expected yesterday. I predicted 4-0, all right? Now 4-0 may seem very, I don't know, negative, but how could you not be negative, right? In the build-up to this, you just knew Rangers weren't going to get the job done today, right? And anyone who comments, I'll read them right here, react to them, live stream, because this needs to be addressed, man. We are sinking, and before people overreact, we are. I mean, I've seen somebody just put a tweet up on Twitter saying that back, I'll read that comment in a second, like it was 2000, what was it? We were like 22 trophies ahead of Celtic, I believe. They were on 78, we were on 100, and since then, if they win the cup, we're both on 118 because obviously the league's over. I mean, come on, man. That's unacceptable, man. Yeah, I know, right? 2012, that was poor, but look at the amount of trophies we've thrown away even since then. I'm not really looking before that, between 2000 and 2012. I'm looking since then. The leagues, you know. And yeah, right, so let's go into the comments. Michael Beale, burner account. He was an Embra, Michael Beale. We would take him back. No, I'm only joking. Nobody was surprised at all. That's the calmest I've seen Rangers fans ever after a defeat. You could argue that. I mean, I'm not going to bash anyone for being passionate about getting defeat. I'm not going to bash anyone for I mean, I expected it. And I accept it pretty much when was it? I mean, I think the 3-3, I think that's when I accepted the league was over, because drawing that meant we had to go to Parkhead and get a result. And that meant it was going to be absolutely good night, because I just knew that wouldn't happen. Because say we were ahead, right, going into that game yesterday, that team probably would have bottled it. You could have said the more confidence would have been there. But the last thing we needed to do was go into Parkhead knowing that we couldn't afford not to get the job done. And you knew yesterday there was no chance they were going to win, right? We can talk about how poor Celtic are and how poor we are. We're just worse than them. That's what it is. But I thought we needed to win at Ibrox in the 3-3 game to make this game irrelevant, because we could have afforded to lose this. But then seeing you lose to Ross County and draw against Dundee, man, you can't. There's no forgiving it. Tom Pike says Clement will come good. I think he will, but here, we are in the exact same cycle that we have been in since Gerrard left. A manager comes in, does poor against Celtic. Oh, we'll give him the summer. Summer comes, and then by the autumn / the winter, or it's more like the autumn, he's gone, right? He's gone, that's it. Dado, Purcell, Blue Boots. Don't want to see Lundstrom in a Rangers top again. I really hope not. Yeah, like we're talking about Clement, right? But if Lundstrom is ever seen in a Rangers top again, it would probably be the Cup final. A lot of people are going to lose faith in Clement if he plays him. Absolutely. You cannot change that. That will happen. I will lose faith in him. It's natural to think that. Talk to the Sheffield United fans about Lonnie. He's a disgrace. Well, I don't know many Sheffield United fans, but here, I mean, they'd probably take him back at this stage, man. They were really bad this year in the Premier League. Michael Beale's burner account says, how come the team that played Celtic the 2-each draw at Hampden, we won on pens, is better than this current squad? I need answers. Yeah, and that's age. I mean, that's 8 years ago. Barry Mackay, Wonderstrike, Kenny Miller. Kenny Miller was trying to defend us yesterday. Well, defend Lundstrom. I actually, if you didn't check out Fog Football, I can actually sympathise with Kenny Miller a bit, because I see his point. Without VAR, that's just play on. But VAR's ruined the game in the sense it's slowed down. It's stop-start. There's no such thing as a flow. I don't think many people can complain about the red, right? But with VAR, it's always going to be given. It's always going to be given. And if it was Johnson doing it on Lundstrom, we'd all want it a red. You have to be fair. For me, the problem was the penalty yesterday. It was never a penalty. It didn't change the game, but they didn't even mention it on Sky. They just whatever reason, man. I think Lennon touched upon. He said it's a penalty. This is the same guy I remember during the Celtic Hibs game with Martin Boyle. Pretty much exact same thing happened. He says never a penalty. But anyway, Tom Pike says bring back Terry Hurlock with a wee winking face there. Oh, why? But I mean, Terry Monroe, I tell you what, that could be a guy that could get him brought soon, because you can laugh about it, right? We can laugh, and here, we're shite, need to accept it. But Celtic are on 3 in a row. The rebuild that's required here, I don't rate Rodgers and I don't rate the Celtic team that much, because we are shite and we're not even that far behind them. And if we get the summer right, you can do something there. But they're a third of the way to 9 in a row. And can you seriously trust what's going to happen? I mean, I think we will win the league within the next 6 years. I'm not saying it's a complete write-off, but you need to get rid of some of these players. The manager has proven a point about the squad to the Rangers Blazers. I hope that's the case. I hope he's just not sinking himself, man, because it's going to go down like the Titanic. It is. It's the Titanic, man. Doesn't have shit on Rangers at the minute, man. If we continue to house the likes of Barisic and Lundstrom, among others, there's a lot of players out of contract. I could look that up right now, but I think we will do that at a later date, probably during the Euros. And it's going to be a shite summer as well. Scotland's going to lose all 3 games. We're probably going to keep duds, sign duds, and lose some of our best players. I mean, there's probably more chance that we lose Jack Butland than it is anybody else. Harrison King says, need to win the cup. Disaster if we don't. Yeah. No, it will be. That is the key thing. But then it will be a disaster, right? Because, you're losing to Celtic as well, and that's how it goes level in the trophies, right? But see, right now, man, as we sit on the 12th of May after the Old Firm, I don't really care about the cup. I will, right? Obviously, in the build-up, like next week, a couple of days before, on the day. But see, right now, man, the cup's the least of my concerns. It's like the league was there to be won, and these players bottled it. We got so much false hope. And see, in February, man, we were all overconfident. Oh, we're going to win the league, and look what's happened. Look what's happened, man. It's shite. Even like 1-0 up against Ross County, fans are chanting, "Fuck you, Celtic, we're going to win the league." And you're entitled to sing that. Even in the Motherwell game, we're singing it. I was singing it. But it's like you look at it and it's like, we should have seen this coming, because these players are just fucking bottle merchants, man. But here, you have to believe in the moment. And back February, early March, you thought we were good. You thought Clement was going to get this average, shambolic, shitey group of players over the line. But we had a wee bit too much faith in Clement, didn't we? And again, he did what he could. We peaked in the mid part of the season. Celtic, we've just been bang average throughout. Well, us, we've just been shite at the start, shite at the end, but pretty good in the middle. Michael Beale back again. Michael Beale. Dessers can't run. Tavernier can't defend. We literally had a gaping hole in the midfield. We also have no wingers, like proper wingers, like Kent, pace and a little flair. Basically, we're fucked. Now, if you checked out the match review yesterday, I was ranting and raving. Like, we needed a goal, right, in that game. 2, preferably, but a goal or 2, right? And we are going with Ben Davies, Kamar Roof, Scott Wright, and I almost forgot his name, Ross McCausland, right? That is shambolic, man. What level of injury crisis and transfer failings is that? When that is like the 4 guys that we are launching forward, I get it. Your centre backs need to go up when you need a goal, right? That's not me burying Ben Davies, but my point is we shouldn't be relying on Ben Davies to do that. Again, I get it, 10 men, we have to throw them forward, but it's a mess. And it doesn't matter if it's Goldson, Balogun, or Suter, whoever's got. But I mean, it's like Davies hasn't started a game since October, I believe. But I mean, that should have been Shankland, right? Shankland, we should have signed him in January. No idea why. Take a risk. If it pays off, the Champions League money pays it back. If we sign Shankland, it's if buts maybes. I think we win the league if we sign Shankland. That's just the truth of it at the end of the day. But I mean, right. Ross McCausland, they're nowhere near good enough. They are absolute shite. Yep, lack of pace, exactly. Like, you seen Wright come on and hit one counter-attack, and he got a corner out of it, fair play. But see Wright and McCausland, they've got no strength. They've got no shooting ability. They've got a bit of pace about them, right? But it's not groundbreaking pace. Let's see here. Randy says, we need a big rebuild. Got to get rid of the dead weight. There's so much dead weight, though. Total rebuild required. Happens occasionally, Yeah, it happens occasionally, right? But it's the last 3 seasons, and it's like an extra rebuild on top of each other. It's like I touched upon it yesterday. Last season, right, when like McGregor, Arfield, Hollander, Morelos, Kent left, right? I was at that Rangers Hearts game. It was like a feel-good moment seeing those players gone. It was like a sad moment almost. see if they repeat the same thing tomorrow with some of these players that are going. Well, Hink's going, like Barisic, Lundstrom, among others. Or many of the... If John Lundstrom parades round Ibrox, he's going to get pelters, man, and rightfully so. Let's see here. Yeah, complete lack of pace, absolutely. Did I do better than Clement? Says Michael Beale. Well, you know what, right? Numbers don't lie. Michael Beale's got the best win ratio of a Rangers manager ever, I believe, apart from McCoist, because obviously McCoist's in the lower league, so I mean you can count it, but it's not exactly the same McCoy. Right? So did Michael Beale do better than Clement? Obviously he didn't, right? But what I would defend Michael Beale in, he was going up against Ange, and he closed the gap by 2 points. I don't want to be known as a club that sacks a manager, and closes the gap to 97 points at the end of the season. No, that's not good enough for me, right? But if you look at it, Beale has actually beat Celtic. He closed the gap against a much better Celtic team, but he had a better Rangers team. Didn't win a trophy. So obviously Clement's done better than Beale, right? But it's probably not as big as a gap between the two, as some people would think. I think people in recent games, like the past month or two, have kind of realised, these players are shite and they're going to take... And if Clement doesn't change it up, these same players that have sacked Gio and have sacked Beale are going to bring the rest of them down. So, yeah, there's going to be ads coming up soon. Who cares? Did they do better than Clement? Yeah, I've already answered that right. Players that are leaving should never, as my webcam's on the road, never put our shirt on. Hold on, get out the road, Wire. All right. Ever watched The Wire? Good show. Put our shirt on. Starting team, down to the manager, and you got it wrong again. Champions League money, yeah, 50 million down the drain. It isn't, come on. No one... Who wanted Lundstrom to start yesterday? You look at anyone previewing the game, you look at Twitter, you speak in person to anybody, Facebook, wherever, Bebo, man, go wherever you want. Everyone knew, right, that starting Lundstrom would be a disaster. The guy's got no legs. The clip re-emerging of him against St Johnstone about a year and a half ago, where he just picks up the ball, he walks about 50 yards and does the shitest pass you'll ever see, and then just stands there, throws his arms up. John Lundstrom, man, see yesterday's performance, it would make you hate a player. And you know what? I'm verging on hating the guy, because it is fucking unacceptable. He sold everybody a shite one yesterday. Olivier Torres, free transfer. I don't know who he is, but here he's got an exotic name. He might be all right. Butland, Ridvan, Stirling. Who else is worth keeping? See, I would argue, no, Ridvan ain't worth keeping, right? He's a great player, right? He is. He's just not fit enough. You need players that you can build upon, because, yeah, you can build around Ridvan for 10 games, 15 games a season. You need players that are going to be consistent. Yeah, freak injuries happen, but this guy's missing like 6 weeks at a time, man. It's no good enough. And I'm not saying it's his fault that we've went on this shit run, but it's players that you can't rely on. It's like Roof, right? Jack, Ridvan, among others, Hollander. Great players. See when they're at their peak, fantastic, but they're all injured. They're injury prone. You can't rely on them, man. Do we keep Tav captain? I mean, I would change it, but I don't think Tav Veneer being captain is the biggest problem, right? At the club. But I mean, I would give it to Stirling. I thought Stirling, he speaks the truth. When he called his shit, he got pelters for Clement for it. But I mean, I know he's young, but who else do you give it to? I'm sick of this gimmick of give it to the older heads. The older heads have let us down. So I would probably Butland, but I don't really like a goalkeeper being captain. I would give it to Butland or Stirling, but he's not going to change it. Usually one that steps up. Who's going to step up though? Martin De Roon, free transfer. I've heard of him. I mean, that would be all right, but we'll have to wait and see. Again, who we linked with? There's a centre-back we're linked with. Is he from like the Bulgarian league or something? I don't know. I've kind of completely forgot about transfers. Been same captain, four different managers. Yeah, I mean, that's a recurring theme. You would argue that is an issue, the fact that this guy has been captain through periods. And see the stat that Gerrard won 8 out of 13 Old Firms. And the rest have got 2 wins out of 15 or something, whatever it is. It's unacceptable, man. I know Gerrard left us, right? But people need to wake up and realise that Gerrard was great for us. Yeah, he won 1 trophy, but see when we took on Celtic, you thought we had a chance, man. See yesterday, I know it was a close game on paper, right? When you look at it 2-1, they fought well 50 minutes, but see that second half, man, never looked like scoring. If you think we did, then what game are you watching? Yeah, it isn't his fault. Right, Silverwing, how do you what's said in the tunnel? He keep be the reason why players fail. Are we talking about Tavernier? What did he say? What did he say in the tunnel? I don't know. Did he say something in the tunnel? It's probably the lack of what he says in the tunnel, to be honest. Your Moz on the gyro. How shite on a scale of 1 to 10 is this current team? Well, I mean, 1 is horrendous, right? 10 is obviously like, I mean, 10 isn't, like Real Madrid right now. 10 is like what this Rangers team is like capable of doing, like with the current market and all that, right? I would probably rate this team as about, I'd probably rate it a 4, honestly, because you're looking at the whole squad, and if we're only talking about keeping like 3, 4, 5 players out of like a 25-man squad, then how can you rate it any higher? Like, seriously, you can't. Silverwing says Stevie G had 3 years, though. He did, but he deserved those 3 years. And again, he did fail in the first 2, you would argue, right? But he closed the gap each season to Celtic, he did. Now, you could argue if you gave Gio 3 years, where would you be? It's all if buts, maybes. But you could clearly, I mean, even after 6 months, Gerrard took us, right, for being a joke, getting beat by Progress Niederkorn, getting us in the Europa League, to going and actually beating Celtic and Old Firms. The rest of them haven't done that. Right, so you don't know what Tav is saying behind the manager's back to the players. Yeah, you don't. He could be saying whatever. I don't think he is, right? He doesn't seem like the sort of, well, he's not very vocal, put it that way. I don't think he is. I mean, I'm sick of him post-match. Oh, we'll learn for this and we'll try again. That part's pish, man. Just come out and say we're shite. See what Sterling said? We're fucking shite. And you know what? It's a disgrace, some of the performances we've put in over the years, and we come out with the same pish. But you know what? We're going to step up. But then he can't really. A captain can say all that, right? But at the end of the day, a captain has no control over who picks what players go in, what players are signed. He can have a wee bit of a say, right? But if Tav completely goes through the team, which I think he should, he could lose. You could lose more of the dressing, but maybe that's what you need. Maybe that's what you need to actually get rid of the problem and get rid of some players. But yeah, I mean, it's who do you keep? That is the question. Like, because who do you see that's going to actually take this team forward? Butland, Red Fan, Sterling. I don't rate Dessers, right? I don't as a number 1. I think as a number 2, Dessers, he doesn't get injured and he can score goals. I think having Dessers as the second option to like a Shankland would be fine for me. I think that's good enough. But you can see the guy runs his socks off for us. As much as we can blast him, yeah, he's cost us probably about 20 odd goals this season that he's missed, right? But you seen him yesterday, man, he was knackered. You bring on Roof. I thought Roof was just as bad as Lundstrom and Lawrence yesterday. What was that cameo, man? Comes on and does nothing. Anyway, I know, but I think it's Tav that is the reason for the horseshoe pressing. It could be. And it's like yesterday, you see so many instances where Tav is more forward than Sterling, and Celtic hit on the counter-attack, and Tav's just jogging back, and Sterling's trying to maintain the right mid-position. If they did why not try something creative where, anytime Tav goes forward, Sterling, and you're like a bit behind him, then you fall into the right-back position till he's back. But I don't know, it just seems like a mess. Let's see. PK says Tav's not got the personality to go through the players. He doesn't. You can just tell who's got the personality to go through players. But again, I think like captains like Roy Keane and even managers to that degree, they don't really. It just doesn't really happen these days. It should though. It should, but I don't think. You're right. He doesn't have the personality. Who'd that look like in that team? If Sterling's going to call the players shite, that gives me faith that he could go through the team, but maybe not. Your Moz on the gyro says again, no. Look at how many managers we've had since we arrived back at the top. About 10, and in that time we've won 1 league, 1 Scottish Cup, and let's not mention finals or second place finishes. Yeah, let's not. We've lost a lot of finals. Yeah, it's not good enough. We've went through so many managers. Like I think it's come up the 18th manager, 18th or 19th manager, and look how many of them's just been over like the past decade. Managers. I know back in the day it was more like you brought them in and it was like they did last a long period, but managers should last a long period. If they're successful, they last a long period. In an ideal world, right, Steven Gerrard would still be at us. Maybe he would have been to Liverpool by now because it would have raised his stock, but yeah, we don't know how that would have all played out. But Gio and Beale, can we honestly sit here and say that Gio and Beale didn't deserve sacked? Just because Beale's worse than Gio doesn't mean Gio didn't deserve to get sacked. It was awful towards the end. Same with Beale. And as for Clement, he will suffer that same fate. We are too big of a club to back a manager blindly, regardless of the results. With Gerrard, it was different. Gerrard got us up to the level playing field with Celtic, where you have to base your results against them. Before Gerrard, it was a it was a shit show, man. You're losing like 4 or 5-0 every game to Celtic, and it took Gerrard to come in to actually even finish second in the league. We're finishing behind Aberdeen. But that's just that has to be the standards. I'm not saying here you have to go back to when we were shite and we were even finishing behind Aberdeen. But at the end of the day, these managers have to be judged on competing for trophies. We're up to that level. I mean, 2 years ago we got to a Europa League final, and you can praise Gio for that. It's brilliant, but that's the standard. That's the standard that's got to be set. Right. Let's see. Let that sink in. Is there a sink behind me? There's not. RFC, this summer is probably going to be the best time to get money for Dessers, as he's not going to get any younger. True, but where would we be without Dessers as bad as he's been? Like, I mean, imagine if Dessers, right, wasn't there or he was injury prone. We would have been. What would our front line have been? It probably would have been Silva with McCausland and Wright. Oh, that's bogging. But I think we need to keep Dessers as a number 2, not as a number 1. Even as a number 3, like if we want to go that far. Silverwing says, keep Clement, get rid of the players. All right. Jamie Carlin King says, kick and rush football. It's shite, isn't it? See the long ball as well, man. What are we doing? It's ridiculous to see the amount of people who want Clement sacked. Yes, his lineup was shit, but what more can he do? This is Beale's mess. Judge Clement when he gets his own players. Yeah. Absolutely. But yeah, Clement shouldn't get sacked. Never. But would you be surprised sitting here in October, November, if he is sacked? I wouldn't be, because we've failed in transfer window after transfer window after transfer window. What I would say is it's about time we got one right. There's been a few good players come in, loan players and frees over the years, but see, the players are actually spending money on, man. They're all shite. Scottish Cup versus Hibs, that was pathetic, by the way. League Cup against Celtic, lost twice. We did. Europa League final, lost. Out both cups in 55 season. Yeah, that was poor. You're right, though. Absolutely right. No, it ain't good enough, man. It's like every game that seems to matter, man, we just don't seem to win. And I didn't want to believe it at the time or even just a couple of years after, but it's like, see the 55 season, much I've praised Gerrard here in the 22 minutes I've been talking pish. What would have happened if the pressure was on that season? Would these players have buckled? They probably would have. As great as that season is, they probably would have buckled. Next game, we only play Butland and Stirling. 2 against 11. It can't get much worse. Abysmal record from our captain. Exactly. And you know what? He's in the Hall of Fame, Tav. You can't take away his stats. But at the end of the day, what does Tavernier's stats do for me or you? Right? Nothing. You would trade every single goal and assist he's got for trophies. Of course you would. Don't they fuck all for me? I mean, the Rangers players should be based on what they've won at the end of the day. But they're not. I mean, Tav has been with us since, the championship, whatever. But at the end of the day, man, the guy is not. He's not won fuck all, really. Really? Voice break? Right. Old and bold. Can we still make it to the Champions League? We need a favourable tie. It depends on the summer, man. With this team, no. With this team, we'll get scudded about 10-0. But I mean, we need to make it to the Champions League. It's the same pish every year, isn't it, man? It's, if we won the league, we went straight in, but we need to do this, yada, yada, yada. It's fucking embarrassing. It is. And, see, as good as we've been in over the years, I see people always use the argument against Celtic, use me win all these trophies, but at least we're good in Europe. I would trade all the European stuff to win all these trophies. As great as the Europa League run was, of course, if we won it, different story. But see, beating, going toe-to-toe with Benfica, beating Real Betis twice, it means fuck all at the end of the day when it comes to the trophy count. As great as it is, it's fantastic at the time. And seeing a few years, beating Dortmund, Leipzig, great moments. But it's the trophies that matter, man. It really is. I don't want to make DVDs over, a last 16 run. Let's see. Ajer's number 9 should be getting about 25 league goals. Dessers is 15. I just think we need better quality. We do. Shankland is the man for me. We will gub them 4-1 in the final. It's optimistic. I mean, but if Clement gets the team right, confidence goes up. But you know, that's why I predicted 4-0. I mean, yeah, it was a close game, and Celtic were poor in the second half, but they could have scored about 6. Like, they could have. BDO, British Darts Organisation, no? If he is the boss to sell Tab and the other serial losers, then I would 100% think he's the man. Same back 4 that got the other manager sacked. Can he just keep him sacking, man? That's just the worst thing, man. You see, like, when he starts Barisic, Balogun, Goldstein, and Tav, it's like that started like 4 fucking years ago, 3 years ago. I mean, come on, especially you take Balogun at the other 3 man have been there donkeys. On paper, is Tav the worst captain we have ever had? On paper, well, I mean, obviously that period, right? Feel like 2012 into when Tav came in, there's going to be worse captains in there. But if you take that out, right? He is, like, we don't care. I mean, see his personal accolades, they're all good for Tav, but we want winners, man. You don't want fucking. I mean, Tav getting an inform or a team of the season card on FIFA, that does nothing for me. I want my captain to be lifting trophies at the end of the day. Pathetic. It really is. I mean, in terms of what he's won, yes, of course, he is one of the worst captains on record. Luka Jovic says free transfer. No, not Luka Jovic. Luka Jovic, free transfer here. Good player. Well, he kind of went off the rails, but I think he'd be able to do a job here, wouldn't he? But he was at Real Madrid, man. I don't think he's going to end up going to us. I'm back to give my 2 pence on what you need to do. Get rid of all the players that have PTSD from the leverings they've experienced at the hands of them across the city. Yeah. Lammer's killing it. Looking forward to him coming back to see what he has to offer next season with better players around him. Yo, one can only hope Sam Lammers can come back and do something for Rangers. But see, at the end of the day, man, the guy, I think he's done. I mean, I'm not saying the Eredivisie is worse than this league, because of course it's not. It's better. Overall, it's better. But maybe the pressure just for Rangers is too much for Lammers, man. The guy was getting some abuse, and rightfully so, man. He was pish. But at the end of the day, what can you do? What can you do about Sam Lammers? It's great doing it in the Eredivisie, right? But what are you doing for us? Look at, we signed Aaron Ramsey. Look at Aaron Ramsey was doing all right. Maybe not for Juventus. I know the Arsenal spell, was brilliant. See that 13-14 season for Arsenal, if you remember it, for Aaron Ramsey, the guy was like the best midfielder in the world. You might think I'm taking the piss. Do you remember the goals he was scoring, man? And look when he came to us, done. Absolute mince. Look when we signed all these other players, man, as well. Like, I mean, I know Senderos, that was towards the end of his career, obviously, and he was never really all that good. But, you know, just because Lammers is doing it good in the Eredivisie, we can't hold our hat onto that at the end of the day. He's still a part of the squad that's been shite. Right, RFC, yeah, I don't mention his name. I'm sorry, I shouldn't even mention his fucking name, to be honest, right? RFC, defence, midfield, wingers, strikers, full rebuild, need it. Enjoy your channel, by the way, Stevie. That's brilliant. But yeah, I would rather we didn't need a rebuild and Rangers were great and my channel be shite, but it is what it is. BDO says, I'd sell Lammers. He can't handle playing for clubs outside the Dutch league. Hope we can get him for a couple million. True. He's actually had a couple of good seasons in the Dutch league, so maybe it's just a homesick thing or he suits it. I don't know. And yeah, don't mention the name of that Reaper of Death, says Silverwing. I'm probably going to end this here in a minute and a half. I've talked a load of shite. First ever live stream, but you know what? If you want to drop a super chat, you go ahead. That pays the bills. If you don't, that's fair enough. I'm not going to fucking judge you. But yeah, if only it could go towards the Rangers transfer budget, right? Managers telling the board, look, the squad is bad. Right, I get that logic, right? But why sacrifice the league title to do that? What Dado Perso Blue Boots is saying here is Clement has purposely went out his way to be like, you know what? I shouldn't start John Lundstrom, but I'm going to start John Lundstrom just to prove how fucking shite he is and that this team needs recruitment in the summer. That is piss poor, by the way. I mean, obviously, that's, you know, thinking out loud, hoping someone can hear it. But if Clement's fought that, that is not the way to go about it. That is throwing the biggest game that we've had in some time under the bus because you want to send a message to the board that these players are shite. I would rather the guy just go to the board and be like, you know what, right? I was going to start John Lundstrom, but I thought about it and went, hold on here, this guy's actually fucking pish, and I'm not going to ruin our league chances just to prove a point that he's pish. Anyway, Silverwing says, great show. Jamie Carlin King, we wouldn't have won the league with Shankland. It might have been closer without wingers and BB playing our shape as kick and rush. Hope football. Here, yo, you can think we wouldn't have won it. I'm not saying it guarantees the league with Shankland. I just look at the different games, the amount of chances that we miss. I mean, against Motherwell, Ross County, and Dundee. But what I would say is we missed a lot of chances against Ross County, to put it to bed. See, against Dundee, we didn't create nothing, man. Absolutely nothing. So, yeah, maybe in that game we wouldn't have won it. But it's the other games. I'm thinking, like, against Celtic, when you need a chance at the end, Shankland's the man to have. But yeah, it would have changed the whole dynamic, man, if you bring Shankland in. But I think we would have personally, or at the very least, it would still be alive right now, but it's not. Dado Parso Lammers is not coming back. It was on Dutch TV. Well, he's coming back, but then he's getting sold, isn't he? I don't think Butland will stay, especially after what happened with the fan. We need money. But I hope Clement doesn't sell him. How much money, though, can we get for Jack Butland? 10 million, 20 million? 20 million's a bit. I mean, I think he's worth way more, but he's 31 now, I believe, Butland. So, I mean, the money's not worth it, because the guy saved us probably about 15 points. And look at Europe as well. Sparta Prague, man, those double saves. That save against Kyogo yesterday, saved the penalty. I know it wasn't a great penalty, but he still saved it. Brilliant. Right. I don't think Clement likes Cantwell. I can see Cantwell putting in a transfer request. How did he not play yesterday? Yeah, I just don't get it. So I just don't get it, man. Why didn't play? It's been time Cantwell turned up, man, Old Firm, right? I get that, totally get that, but no. See Tom Lawrence yesterday, man. He was almost worse than John Lundstrom in that first half, and this is a guy that cost us pretty much 2 goals and got sent off. Tom Lawrence is escaping a lot of criticism yesterday. See, pretty much every attack we had, it fell through due to him. The guy is shit. I'm sick of signing these championship players, right, or these cheap old English guys or whatever, that think they're just going to come up on because they're playing for the old firm, one of the old firm, aka us in this instance, they're going to walk the fucking league. It just doesn't work like that. It's the wrong mentality to have. The right mentality to have is signing young players with a point to prove. As much as I don't like the rhetoric of players like Raskin said he wants to play for Chelsea, right? At least you've got players who want to play great at the club they're at and move on to bigger and better things. It's better than players that are past it and don't give a fuck anymore at what happens, man, as long as they're getting that dosh. I mean, you look at young players in this team, like Butland. He probably came to Rangers for one last chance, right? But he's gave all he could. If Butland was 37, played all his years, and this was probably going to be his last season, in fact, he wouldn't have been as good this year. Forget about the age. It's the mentality thing. That's why young players are better. They've got a point to prove. It's like all these other players, man. They're just up. It's like Tavernier, Goldstone, Lundstrom. They've done it, man. They've got their wages. They've skint us of all our money, and they've played shite while doing it. All right, Silverwing. I'm going to end it after this comment, unless anyone else comments. So if you want me to read some, you get it fired in there. As Michael Beale burner account says, get rid of all the players with PTSD getting shafted. That's true. But yeah, look at Celtic, right? I don't want to talk about Celtic too much in the Rangers live stream, but it's the truth. Look, when we won 55, Lennon gets sacked, Ange came in, complete rebuild. I mean, who is left for the Lennon era? Apart from like McGregor and Forrest. No one. I mean, like Scott Bain, right? But that's what needs to happen. Something like that needs to happen. But then they were able to sell, cash in on players. Who are we going to be able to cash in on? Players we don't want to get rid of. Exactly, like Butland. Anyway, good luck to you too. Live stream. I'll do more of these live streams. Well said, Silverwing. Right, Walter comes in there. No more half measures, Walter. Breaking Bad reference, right? I've got a full measure. What's the team for Tuesday? Fucking you tell me what's the team for Tuesday. It doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't care about the team for Tuesday. I'm sorry, but I mean, I'll answer it. That's not me being disrespectful to you, Walter. That's just me. That's these players being disrespectful to us. They fucking bottle it yet again. I couldn't care what the team is on Tuesday. I don't. Like, the atmosphere is going to be absolutely pish. It's just shite. I'd like to see. Honestly, the league is done. Before people go, oh, but if we win and they lose twice, no, that's not happening. Go for a bit of youth, right? I would like to see Raskin in there. I'd put Leon King in at the back. I think he might have to come in, by the way, with the injury to Suter, whether that's true or not. I'd like to see that. Yilmaz in at left back. I mean, I'd like to see some of the youngsters in that have been on the bench but not be able to do anything. In terms of up front, I mean, it's just going to have to be Dessers again, isn't it? The team is so shit. The team is yeah. Raskin in the midfield absolutely has to be. Do not know why he's been dropped. Ben Davies, King at the back. I mean, I don't want to start. You know, actually, Butland, Yilmaz, King, Davies, Sterling. I kind of want Sterling in the midfield. What about not Define's it on loan? I'll put Tav at right back. I was going to say put Sterling at right back and push Tav further forward, but we're not going to do that. We'll put Tav in at right back. We'll put Diamonde and Sterling in the midfield. Cantwell in the 10 position. And then, I mean, I don't really want to start Fabio Silva, but you know what? He actually had a good game against Celtic, and unless there's a youngster that I would play a youngster, but yeah, he'll go with Fabio Silva, wouldn't he? On the right, I'd probably start McCausland, and then up front it's probably gonna have to be Dessers. Like, what about like Cole McKinnon, players like that? Fire some of them in somewhere. Go with youth. Go with the league's done. You know what I mean? But this is when this team thrives, folks. See, when they're pish and the league's done and there's nothing to play for, they'll turn up tomorrow or Tuesday. They'll win about 6-0. See if we beat Celtic and we needed to get the goal difference in for Tuesday, it would have been a struggle 2-1 or 1-0 to go over the line. That's what would have happened. Needs to change it up for the final, Stevie. Bring Stevie G back, put him in midfield. Yep, we try the same youth and get fresh youth in all youth. Aye, it's got to be youth. Play some of the youth players, man. It's just, it is, the full team need to go. I agree, but it's hard to replace a full team at the end of the day. But you know, see, rather than complaining about it being hard and that it's doing it, attempt it, do something, man. See every player that's out of contract, get rid of them. Get rid of every single one of them. See the players that are injury prone, transfer list them. See the players that are just not good enough, transfer list them. And not to do, look around the league. See young Scottish players that would fill the quota for the European things. Do that. Get that done. There's so many. You know, Shankland, it writes itself, man. Right? Connor Barron, I'm not too against, but he's injury prone. You know, Big Lennon Miller, I would get him. I mean, we were linked with Deutsch. I wouldn't mind bringing Deutsch in, but he's sorry. I mean, that's the problem. That's going to be a bit of money in there. I mean, Kelly. I mean, Danny Armstrong. I mean, it's not. He needs to stop turning our nose up, right? Because see, Danny Armstrong, fucking 10 times the player of Scott Wright and McCausland. Is what it is. I don't want to say it, but that's the truth. That is the truth. Even like Lewis Mayo, we let him go and look at the season he's went and had. You try to tell me Lewis Mayo would be doing a worse job than these shiftless pricks at the back of our team? Absolutely not. Silverwing says, you're better than the Rangers rabble. Enjoy your Sunday. I've had better Sundays, to be fair. I'm going to watch the United Arsenal game. Maybe do a bet on that. I don't know. But as for the Rangers rabble, Martin, what an Empire biscuit, Martin. I don't mind the Rangers rabble. I watch them, but you know, they are a bunch of fuds at the end of the day. I do think that. You watch every stream and I don't know, it's just like there's no energy. It's just like clinical depression. I get it. Today is a day to be depressed. Right? The league's over, but I don't know. There's just not really much happening. The guy with the turkey teeth left, and just fucking nosedived even further. But aye, they're all a wee bit. They're all a bit weird, aren't they? On the Rangers rabble. Silverwing says pure negative. But the Rangers rabble, yeah, I mean, they're not Glasgow Celtic, first Celtic fan in on the live stream. But anyway, that's probably a good time to leave it. And I was supposed to end it 8 minutes ago. But if you want to see these live streams continue, leave a like, do whatever you want. But that's where we're going to leave this video, troops. I'll be back very soon. I'll make a video later about something. I might go through the players that are out of contract, or if there's anything in the news regarding yesterday's game, I will go through that as well. But that's where we're going to end this stream. Till next time, leave your thoughts down below, and peace.